Okay, we'll start out by drawing a box. And since you're new to the software, I thought I'd point out that everything, all blessings flow from basically boxes that are closed with walls. Once you have four enclosed walls, then other automatic things can come into play, like the roof planes. And the attributes of the model, once you've got an enclosed space, then you can have a room specification dialog box where you can do further programming to the space. But your main area of setting defaults is over under Edit Default Settings. And then here's the various categories. Vast majority of the default settings that control the software are to be found here. Now to get on to just the question that you asked, I'm going to make this space a little bit larger, and I've got auto build roofs on, so you can see the roofs automatically update as I just enlarge the space. And that's over here under the where's the build roof dialog? I don't see it. I don't use Suite every day. I use mainly Cheap Architect. There it is, build roof. See, you can see here auto rebuild roofs is checked. You can also uncheck that so that it just builds. Once you've got the roof where you want it, you don't want it automatically changing every time you move a wall or something. So once you get the roof exactly where you want it, you might want to come in and uncheck that so that the program's not automatically continuing to change the program. It's just a mechanical device, and it only does what you order it to do or preset it to do. Okay, now on to your question. Main thing to remember is that everything's controlled by walls and objects. I'm going to draw an interior wall across here, across this space, and now we have two rooms. See, I can right click and get two different spaces there and two programmable areas. We'll call this, we'll name this. And these naming conventions here are programming commands. If I was to name, I don't want to go through the whole retinue, but like open below would create no floor. Dining room, well, we'll name it a dining room for this case. And over here, let's see, what your post says what? Hang on a second. You said living room. Okay, fine. We'll name this space living room. Now in this case, there's not much there's not that big a difference between a living room and a dining room in terms of interior attributes. But let me just demonstrate that for a second. I'm going to do a dollhouse overview camera. You can see both spaces are pretty much the same except for size. Now if I was to change the name over here from living to kitchen, it'll give it a different kind of flooring. See, now it's got a different kind of floor on it. Otherwise, the attributes are going to be the same. Let's see, we'll go over the structure tab. You can see the ceiling is set to 9 feet, and the floor height is set to a default level of 0. And this just has a different name and thus a different material. I'm going to change this back to living room. I just wanted to point that out because if you're new, then that'll be useful data to you. Now I'll close that. Now, to get this wall to look like the way you want it, the way that comes to mind to me is you need to keep this space separate from this space. So we're going to leave a wall here, but we need to take away parts of it. So I'm going to use the wall break tool. See it right here? I'm going to break it there. See it see that little line it put in it? I'm going to break it over here. So now that there's not just one wall there, there's 3 segments of a wall. And this segment I'm going to open it up for programming and tell it to be invisible. It's still there, but keeping these spaces separate. Let me show you what that looks like. I'll go back to the dollhouse camera view. See, now we're kind of part the way towards what you were talking about. Only I think, let me take a look at your thing again. Okay, we've got kind of a beam up here, and then we've got you could call it the pony wall, or I've heard it called other things. So basically, what I'm going to do is put a doorway in here next. I just wanted to show you the different ways to handle this, and you just think of it as 3D modeling rather than real objects. I'm going to take this segment here, I'm going to delete that, and we'll just extend the invisible wall over. So now, let me go to another camera view. We've got a space over here, and then no wall over there. Now the way I would handle this, the first thing that comes to mind is over under the cabinet tools. There's a tool called soffit, and of course the soffit has a very specific definition. I'm going to put an soffit object in there, and we'll look at it in an isometric camera, and it'll come in by default up here by the ceiling where soffits usually are. But in this case, I'm just going to extrude it down and then open its dialog box, and we're going to make it the height that you didn't state a height, so I'm just going to tell it to be 42 inches tall, and the width we'll set to the width of a sheetrock wall at 4.5 inches thick. And the default material is, I think, drywall. Yeah, drywall. So we'll just leave that there. But now we got that there, I'm going to extend it out. So there's one side of your wing wall. I'm going to line it up with the invisible wall. As a person who's been using the software for a while, this is very straightforward, and that's the reason I thought of it. I'm going to copy that soffit, since I've got it about the right size and height and so forth, and we'll copy it to the other side. And I'm going to make it a little bit narrower. You didn't give dimensions, but you get the idea. You can set the dimensions of the soffit by just dragging on it, or by opening its dialog box and setting that precisely. We'll look at it again in a dollhouse view, and that's kind of what you pointed out. Now the baseboard is missing. In older versions of the software, the baseboard would automatically pick up on that, but I'm going to open the soffit object. Oh, and sweet, you can't do that. Okay. In some of the other titles, you can actually add a molding to it. But there's no molding tab in here, so I guess that's not possible. But that'll get you part the way there. I'm surprised the soffit object didn't automatically pick up the base mold, but I guess they stopped programming it that way. Click on that and line it up a little bit better. It's hard zoomed out to get things to line up perfectly. That's a little bit better. So that's how I would do that. And soffits I use for a lot of different customized purposes, to fill in gaps, and to be a step, or to be a landing, or to be some kind of object I need somewhere that isn't all that easy to make. And so I thought I'd share that with you, and welcome to the forum and whatnot. I hope this helps you. Thank you.